What's up, everyone? Eli here, back for a new stuff video. Just some new shit that I picked up lately. And actually, I already had this in time for my last video, but I forgot to show it because a lot of it actually went fucking under. I had it sitting, in the center of my van between the two front seats, and it like slid under the seat. So I almost forgot that I had this shit entirely. So yeah, I am in my van right now, but. Yeah, I kind of like doing videos somewhere outside of the house. But yeah, I got some cool stuff. It's just kind of a bunch of random shit. First, I'm going to show this, one of my favorite musical discoveries as of late. I'd never really heard of this band. The name I might have, kind of slipped past the name and, not ever really knew who they were. But my buddy, one of my local buddies who actually likes metal, one of like the three, turned me on to this, and I was fucking just instantly into it. It's such a goddamn good demo. One of the best 90s death metal demos I've ever heard. The band is called Epitaph, and they were out of Florida. They had a 91 demo and a 92 demo, most notably the 91 demo. So I made a bootleg copy for myself and my good buddy, Kevin, Full Metal Ginger, because this tape is nearly unattainable. It's only been pressed one time, the original, and you're not likely to find it. Although I looked it up on Discogs, there was a copy sold in 2019, but there just aren't that many of them out there. So I would never make a bootleg and sell it, but if it's something I know I can't get, I might bootleg it for myself and maybe a friend. And that's what I did here. First time I've ever done it, actually, but there's a couple more tapes, old 80s and 90s demo tapes that are literally impossible to get. So it's kind of fun to do like that. But yeah, Epitaph out of Florida. Go check out their 91 demo. So fucking good. I printed this off of a scan. Some guy uploaded a scan of his original demo online. So that's where I got the cover art to make the J card. God damn, it's good. It's just good Florida death metal. Amazing riffs. I think this demo's better than most of the 90s Florida demos that were coming out around the time. I think it's better than most of any of the demos Death did. I would say it's up there with like some of those Massacre demos, which were really good. Not that it sounds like that necessarily. These guys definitely kind of sounded like a more technical Obituary. God damn, it's so good. But I'm gonna stop rambling about that, and we'll just get on to what I came here for. My buddy that works at my local record store let me borrow this book because he knows I'm a big fan. So I'm going to start reading this hopefully tonight. Got Brian Posehn's book. I'm a big Brian Posehn fan, so I can't wait to read that. Picked up this DVD at Target the other day. Super on clearance because I'm sure nobody wants it, but I do. I've been wanting to get this anyways. So I was happy to pay $3 for it, but got one of Nicolas Cage's many new movies, Primal. I guess he fights a tiger or some shit in this movie. I cannot wait to see Nicolas Cage fight a tiger. I mean, I don't know if it gets more epic than that. I'm so ready for it. And then other than that, I got some CDs. I found this at fucking Goodwill. I grabbed it. It's still in the shrink wrap. I grabbed it and I was like, well, this looks like metal. Never heard of Face Down Records. I still haven't unwrapped it. I don't even know if I will, because I'm a dick, I guess. Face Down Records is a Christian metal label. I did not know that, but the band is called Immortal Souls. The album is called Winterreich, which doesn't sound like something a Christian would name their album, but whatever. I'm not trying to jump to any conclusions, but yeah, I mean, it looks metal, and it is. I guess it's like melodic death metal, but I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a listen. I was thinking about just putting it up for trade and just trading it to somebody who, would probably appreciate it much more than I'll probably just shit all over it and not probably won't even really give it a chance. I don't know. I haven't read the lyrics or anything. I don't know. I don't mind listening to a band. I'm very much against Christianity in any way possible. I wouldn't so much mind listening to a metal band comprised of Christian members, knowing that they kept Christianity out of the lyrics. That wouldn't bother me as much. I still would rather not support Christianity in any way possible. But yeah, as long as, you know, they aren't Jesus lyrics, you know, maybe I can get into it. And it doesn't look like it. I mean, it's got like, you know, song titles like Night Frost, Fear Reaper, you know, Icon of Ice, you know, Heart of Cold, Black Water, Winter Reich. I mean, they don't sound like Jesus lyrics, but whatever. I don't know. I remember seeing this around, probably back when it came out in 2007, and I never really paid attention to it then. But anyways, like I said, it was at Goodwill. I almost never see, where I live, you don't find metal shit at Goodwill. Maybe once every couple of years, if you're lucky. So, speaking of Christian bands, I guess I was in a weird mood because I picked this up too. I remember hearing this when it came out, and honestly, it's a decent album. If you're into this kind of stuff, which I'm not really, but yeah, we have Zao. The Fear Is What Keeps Us Here. Came out on Ferret Records, not a label that I'm really into. Zao were a pretty popular, they probably are still pretty popular, you know, the kind of early 2000s. They might have even been around since at some point in the 90s. But anyways, they're one of the bigger metalcore bands, one of the more popular and influential and all that shit. I've read interviews with these guys over the years. They actually seem like alright dudes. They're Christians, but they state that, you know, they're openly Christian, but their music has nothing to do with Christianity, and they don't want to be seen as a Christian band. They'd rather be seen as a metal band, you know, just, you know, with band members that happen to be Christians. I still don't want anything to do with Christianity in any form, but it's a decent album. You know, I'm really not into metalcore, but you can totally tell these guys were influenced by Converge on this album. If you like, you know, Jane Doe era Converge, which I do. I actually do like Jane Doe. You probably like this album. Produced by Steve Albini, so it's got a really cool production. Yeah, I mean, it's a good album for what it is, to be honest. I wasn't really familiar with this next one. I think I'd heard the name before, but other than that, you know, I'm not super familiar, but horrible cover art aside, this is a pretty amazing album, I think. We got Agents of Oblivion. Came out in 2000 on Rotten Records, which my good buddy Pat, Ground Zero Salem, clued me in. Rotten Records was ran by, what was it, Kurt Brecht from DRI. So this band is comprised of a couple of dudes from Acid Bath, who I also like. It's got, I think, 2 dudes from Acid Bath, at least. But it definitely has, you know, the singer, Dax Riggs, who has, honestly, I think, one of the best voices out there in rock or metal or whatever you want to call it. Truly, truly gifted singer. The dude should be way more famous than he probably is. Kind of mind-blowing, actually, when I think about it. But really good album. It kind of reminded me of, like... it doesn't sound much like Acid Bath. It's more along the lines of like Alice in Chains, I would say. Really, 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 really good. I looked it up on YouTube. Surprisingly, there's not really that much Agents of Oblivion stuff to be found to listen to on there. I tried to find the first track on the album called End's Mouth. I could only find a demo version on YouTube, but it was still, you know, still a pretty decent version of the song. Not all too different, because I think that's the best song on the album, personally. But great album, Agents of Oblivion. Go find it if you can. Bought this at my local record store just because I already have this, but I mean, this copy was, other than the crack in the case, that really doesn't mean anything. The really pristine copy here. There's no way I was leaving this. Classic album, Natans Madrigal by Ulver. Their third album, $8. It's worth more than that, and I knew that, so it's the Century Black version. I don't know if you would call this, I'm not really a pressing nerd, so if any of you guys are, let me know what you think. There are 2 versions of this album that came out in 97, when the album was released. One on Century Media, the other one on the Century Black imprint. both came out the same year. They're both Century Media. Would you consider this a first pressing, or is it a second pressing? I guess I would consider it a second version of the first pressing. I don't know, but whatever. It's been a while since I've taken a look at my copy, but I'm almost positive mine is not as pristine as this one. I mean, all the inserts and everything are the corners are sharp. It's pretty impressive. The CD is the disc is flawless. There's not a single scratch on it. It's probably never been played. So I'm gonna go look at my copy when I get a chance. Like I said, I can't remember the condition of it. I might replace my own copy with this one and then trade off my copy, or I might just say, fuck it, what's the point in, in making a big deal out of this, and maybe I'll just trade this copy. So if there's anyone out there that wants to trade me something for it, I'd probably be open to that. Obviously, this is an album that most black metal fans should have. So if anyone would like a copy, and they might trade me something that I could use, go ahead and leave me a message or something. Another rarity right here. Even this guy himself hasn't seen this around in years and years, because I talked to him when I saw him at the Comedy Club, one of my favorite comedians who you never hear talked about, and I have no idea why. Mitch Fay with his first album, Miniskirts and Muffins. Sorry about the glare. I'm outside. I can't control glare even when I'm inside. Mitch Fay is amazing. I saw him, I think it was last year, maybe 2018, something like that. I'd already been a fan of his for years, but he fucking killed. One of the best, maybe the best stand-up performances I've ever seen in my entire life. I bought a CDR pressing that he just made for himself so he could sell them out on tour. He's like, yeah, this album is long out of print, so really cool to find that. I got a couple more. Here's one of the few 2020 releases I've gotten so far. Not that I'm at all concerned with that, but of course I had to have this one. The new My Dying Bride album with, what's it fucking called? The Ghost of Orion. Out on Nuclear Blast. I still haven't listened to it, so I can't say shit about it, but you can if you'd like it. If you've heard it, go ahead and let me know what you think. But yeah, I'm a big fan. Stoked to listen to it. And I said, what the hell, why not? I picked up the last Broken Hope album from 2017. Man, it's already been 3 years. The Mutilated and Assimilated with a cool fucking John Carpenter's The Thing looking cover art. Another one of these burly digipacks from Century Media. Oh shit, I thought it was Metal Blade. Anyway, it's got a DVD with a live set, which is actually pretty cool. I've seen them live already, but I'll watch that. So yeah, you got the CD and then the DVD. It's a pretty nice package. Haven't heard it. Heard it's actually a really good album. Their comeback album before this was kind of bland. It wasn't bad by any means, but it was kind of just bland. I've heard this album is much better. I like Broken Hope. They're kind of one of those bands that they have their fan base, but they also kind of get shit on a lot for some reason. They're one of those death metal bands that people either love them or absolutely hate them. Yeah, and they had some missteps, in their career, but I mean, what band hasn't? I don't understand. Their early stuff, I think, is great. Their early stuff is some of the best, nastiest, brutal death metal I've actually ever heard. And then some of their later stuff is good too. They do have one album that I really can't stand, but even then, it's really not that bad. But anyways, that's it. That is all I got. Let me know what you think. If you're familiar with any of that shit, talk to me. If you want to trade me something for that Oliver CD, I'm open to offers. I'm not trying to make a big deal out of it or anything. Just trade me something I don't have that I'd like. I'd probably be open to it. So, have you guys heard that Epitaph demo? Holy shit! If you haven't, it's on YouTube. Epitaph 91 demo. Go listen to it. It's fucking killer. You will like it instantly. Those riffs and the vocals are good too. Anyways, that's all I got. Talk to me. Thanks for watching. We'll talk soon, huh? Cheers.